episode of the Takedown, a Splitting Hairs podcast brought to you by Jackrabbit Illustrated. We're focused on South Dakota State wrestling. I'm Chad Myros, and today I'm joined by my co-host Jordon Schoenrock, and we have our special guest, South Dakota State 165-pounder and human wrestling highlight reel, Tanner Cook. Tanner, great to have you. How you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Not too shabby. Thanks for being with us. We got a lot of questions for you tonight, so we'll get started. And I'm going to go for the easy one. What's your favorite wrestling move?
My favorite wrestling move would have to be a high flyer for sure.
Yeah, and that's the one you stick guys on, yes?
Yeah, all the time.
Can you walk me through the difference between a high flyer and, say, an elevator?
I think they're pretty much the same thing. Honestly, everybody just has different names, like wherever you go. Like all across the U.S., like where I'm from, we have tons of different names for moves, and they have different names out here for things. So.
Right. So you're grabbing the guy's outer lat and his inner wrist, right? When you
yeah, it's like mostly one hand's on the chin, the other one's just underneath his arm, and then going straight backwards for the most part.
Okay, so maybe a little different than an elevator. Seems pretty risky, but the reward's pretty good. And how many times have you hit that in a match at South Dakota State? Do you say?
I mean, generally I go for one just about every match for sure. I mean, worst it happens, I just give up points or get pinned, maybe, I guess.
So we had Cody on a couple weeks ago, since we're talking about this right now, and I asked him over under how many you're going to hit this year, how many you're going to pin. He said 5. He set the bar pretty low for you. You think that's a number you can beat?
I don't know. Our schedule this year is really, really tough. Like it's going to be tough, but I don't know. I would say 5 to 7 would probably be a fair guess.
Pretty good there. So you come from New York. Tell us a little bit about your high school career and all that fun stuff.
So we had a pretty good high school, where I was from. My dad was like the Pee Wee coach of the program, so we had a good foundation for us. We were state champions my senior year, and as of right now, I think we have 4 kids that are wrestling Division I. 3 of them are at University of Buffalo, and then I'm out here. But I won 1 state title as a senior, got second as a junior, and won just over probably 220 matches or so in high school.
So you win all them matches, and then you try and go to Cornell, if I understand right?
Yeah.
Like that was the school you wanted to go to. So you try and go there. What really happened there? Take a gray shirt year, I believe, and then to try and get in and everything with it being an Ivy school. Can you kind of walk through that?
I took I guess a gray shirt year and a half, trying to figure out things there, and it just wasn't really working after my first year. And I came out on a visit here, didn't really like it, not gonna lie. So I decided to stay in Ithaca for another year. I thought I did half a year and then said, I'm coming out here, and then just pretty much packed up all my stuff and just drove 22 hours out here, and have been home probably 4 times since in the last 2 years, 3 years actually.
So are you a big fan of Brookings now, or?
Yeah, when I got here, it was just really laid back, and I got here over the summer, so I didn't see anything that was really going on. Like, I was only here for 2 days. It was my first time on a plane. Nobody was really in town, so it was just kind of like, this seems kind of boring. Like, I'm just going to be going to practice, going home, and going to school, really, and that's it.
Were you afraid of flying at all? I got to ask. I mean, that's a different thing. The first time most people experience when they're a little younger.
Oh yeah, my dad dropped me off, and all I had was like a ticket on my phone. I had no idea. I haven't even been in an airport before, so I tried to walk through the security with, like, my backpack on and everything, and they grabbed right a hold of me. It's like, yeah, I think 19, and I'd never flown before, and they thought I was like joking. But
so, how do you pronounce the name of the town you're from? Is it
it's Ilion.
Ilion. It is Ilion. Okay.
Ilion. Yeah, it's the hometown of Remington Arms for anybody that hunts. So any Remington gun, that's where it was invented for the most part. Well, at one point it was. They kind of relocated all over now, but.
And then you had a state title at 145 pounds and wrestled for Central Valley, right?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about your career in high school, if you would.
So in New York, you can wrestle varsity seventh grade. So I wrestled 99 pounds. They had that as well. my first 2 years, I did okay, but I broke my shoulder my 7th grade year, so I was out for most of my 8th grade year. I came back my 9th grade year at 106 and got 4th in the state. 10th grade year, I lost in the blood round at 126. 11th grade year, I was in the finals and I lost on a locked hands call, and then came back my senior year at 145 and then ended up winning it finally.
Well, there's got to be a lot of wrestlers in New York, right? That's got to be a pretty big. Do they break that down by divisions there, or is it like a?
Yeah, so we have we start off in, they call it classes, and in our section. So we have 12 sections in our state, plus I believe it's the private schools. So you usually have to win your section in order to go to the state tournament. There's 4 wild cards, but so there's 12 sections in New York, 1 through 12, and then PSAL, which is like the private schools out of mostly New York City. So it's, when you go to the state tournament for us, there's only 2 divisions. There's Division 1, Division 2 for like the size of the school, and you actually have to wear your section singlet. So I was in Section 3, which is Central New York, and so everybody at every weight wore a singlet with the number 3 on it.
Really?
Which is pretty interesting. Yeah.
That is way different. You don't wear your school singlet.
Not until your last match, so you can wear your school singlet. But a lot of kids don't even do it because they're pretty superstitious, so they just keep the same one on they've been wearing.
I gotta ask, Tanner, are you one of them super superstitious kids?
Not really. No, I just kind of do whatever's convenient, I guess, to me.
Do you know people on the team that are superstitious about some things and have they need to do?
Very, very superstitious, right? Yeah.
Zach Price is pretty superstitious. He throws up before every match, and if he doesn't, then there's something usually wrong. So that's pretty interesting, I guess.
He doesn't force himself to vomit. It's from the butterflies, I hope.
Yeah, it's probably a combination of both, honestly. I don't know. I just see him doing it, just kind of watch.
I never got butterflies like that when I wrestled. All the other guys got butterflies, and they just hated me because I guess I don't. It's not something I got. So let's talk a little bit about your brother wrestled here. Talk maybe a little bit about your relationship and maybe how that was wrestling with your brother here in the same wrestling room, and maybe go back a little bit to how you guys grew up wrestling probably together. Any stories you might have there?
Yeah, so he was always a bit older than me, and he did the same thing as me. He was at Finger Lakes, the same thing, trying to get into Cornell, and then he ended up going to Edinburgh. Then he transferred to App State, and then he absolutely hated App State. And when I first came out here on my visit, and I decided I wasn't going to come out here, I was like, like, I know you need a guy at my weight and everything. I'm probably not going to come this year, but my brother would transfer out. So he came out here, but he had to, I think he had to sit a year because he'd already transferred to more than, I think it's 2 schools at the time. And so he had to sit out a year. And then 2 years ago, we were actually going to start together. He was going to wrestle 157. I was going to be 165. But I was out for our Binghamton duel, and he ended up getting hurt and having surgery. And then kind of that was just it for him.
Yeah, that was pretty gruesome. I was there at the Pentagon and saw that, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
man. He was fun to watch, too. We missed that. So
yeah, he was definitely tough for sure.
So, like your one brother came here, but talk about your family. I'm pretty sure you have a pretty big family back there in New York, and how close do they follow you?
Yeah, so they all love it. Like, they all wear all the SDSU wrestling stuff. They haven't been out here yet, but there's 6 of us brothers. So it goes Lakin, who is here. And we have a brother named Landry in between us, and there's me. And then Kai, Case, and Six are all my other brothers. So
the last one's name is Six, and he's the 6th brother.
Yeah.
That sounds like the Umbrella Academy. So how many of them besides you and Lakin are wrestling or going to wrestle at a college level, do you suppose?
None of them will probably go to the college level. my older brother Landry, who's in between me and Lakin, was definitely the best out of us all, but could not stand wrestling. Hated it. My dad would like pretty much pay him to wrestle in high school, really. And he was a big guy too, so he was really fun to watch. He only threw people, which was really, really fun to watch.
Is that where your throws come from, or where did that start? And tell us a little bit there.
Yeah, it definitely came from my dad and my older brother because my dad was like, he's a bigger guy, so whenever he wrestled, like he would just hit like lat drops and that was it, really, and the occasional double leg. So we were always practicing them and stuff. And then my older brother Landry, that's literally all he did was just throws. That was the only thing he did.
So, um, so like your dad was your coach and stuff like that. What was it like? I know that you had a relationship with Han from Cornell a little bit. You knew him. Did that play a factor of coming out here? Like, what, like, how did that relationship work, and what's it like now, like, not having your dad at all your matches to cheer and coach you from the side?
I guess not having my dad is like I definitely miss it for sure, but me and him used to butt heads a lot because he would just say stuff to me and I would turn around mid match and just tell him to shut up. But I mean, Coach Hahn, if he was never at Finger Lakes or at affiliated with Cornell, I wouldn't have never came out here because he got me out here because I think they needed a guy. I actually don't know why he tried to get me out here. I had nothing to show. I mean, I had one state title, and I'd never even won an open in a year and a half that I was at Finger Lakes, and damn near everybody on our team is a state champ, probably at least one time. So I was just another kid. I was at a junior college, just kind of hanging out, wrestling, and then he asked me to come out here. I was like, yeah, definitely for sure. So, but it's nice now for sure. I like it out here.
Do you guys on the team ever follow the rankings much at all? I've never been in a college wrestling room. I know in high school we kind of did, but you guys follow that at all?
Like what guys are ranked like individually and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
or where you're ranked. Like, so, right now, I guess WrestleStat has you like 13th.
Yeah, that's way too high for me. Like I don't like that, not one bit.
No pressure. No pressure.
Yeah, like, it kind of puts like a target on your back, and I mean, I don't know how I went up, or I guess you could say down in the rankings after I hadn't wrestled for a year. Like this is like the highest or closest I've been to number like top 10 ever, and I haven't competed in a full year. So it's kind of crazy to me, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't pay too much attention to it. I don't really think most guys do because, I mean, it just matters at the end of the year, really.
Yeah, it's just those last few weeks that Han
Mhm.
always focus on. That's what really counts.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you come here your freshman year, and you go 21-4, 12-2 in duels. I believe you had 14 pins that year. Like, don't you think you're a little bit deserving of that ranking? I mean, like, you did prove yourself. I mean, that was a heck of a freshman year. So, and then you go and place third at the Big 12s that year, and then COVID hits, and everything crashes, and here we come. We all roll into NDSU, and here's Tanner, and the news breaks that you're more than likely going to be out for the season to recover some injuries and some stuff like that. Can you tell me how you grew from that and what you learned last year without being on the mat and just practicing?
I guess it's something that I definitely don't ever want to do again because I would be at every practice still, and I would just kind of be either well while the time I was recovering, I'm just sitting there watching, and then when I was back, like I was in the best shape of my life last year, come like end of March, but it was too late by then. Um, I don't know. I guess I'm just like I'm getting old now. Like I'm gonna be 23 here soon. Like I don't have much time left doing this, so I guess like the one thing I've been thinking about lately is like if I'm gonna go to practice and spend 2 hours there, like might as well get better. Like don't want to waste my time. So that's like kind of how I think a little bit.
Did you have the same one-on-ones and everything that you would normally have last year then?
I was just like at like the just normal practices really. I would try to do some stuff on my own, but it was a hard year for me overall.
Who was your typical training partner then that you would wrestle with? Like who's the guy that you would normally wrestle with this year or whoever or
Um,
last year?
so this year I wrestled with Jacob Shun a lot, and then I usually get beat up by Cam Simons at least once a week for sure, and Luke Zilberberg as well.
That is a common thread. Everybody points out how
Mhm.
Cam beats them up,
Yeah,
except
I get it
for
at least once a week.
so who does he beat up on the upper weights like AJ?
He doesn't really wrestle with AJ too much. That's more of Coach Han, but
Uh,
anybody that he wants to, it doesn't matter.
so White Lightning's still getting out there getting it done, huh?
Oh yeah, it
Good
doesn't
old
matter
Kev.
who you are. Does not matter.
Can you tell me what your relationship is like with Cam? I know you guys are pretty close. Tell me what it means to have Cam as a coach on the team for you.
Um, it's definitely great for sure. When I first got here, I was like, "This sucks," because like I could never get away with anything around him. Nothing. Like no matter what, there's no lies, no nothing. He knew everything. Like we would lift together, we would wrestle together. I used to like cry in the corner. Used to like hate going to practice, but like after a few months, like all that stuff kind of like stopped. Like me crying and just getting tough. And then I started wrestling guys like, this definitely helped me. So it's great now. Like, I mean, I got home after this from study hall and he's in there. He's the first one in there and the last one to leave. Just if anybody needs help with anything, he's just knowledgeable, whether it's life, school, wrestling, whatever it is. And even if he doesn't know about it, like he'll probably take the time to learn about it so he can help you with whatever you need. Like he's great all around.
Maybe we've got new coaches on this year, Coach Berge specifically. Can you talk about how he's changed things in the room and maybe specifically if there's anything he's changed for you?
Yeah, definitely. So he has a different perspective of wrestling for sure, which I like. Like, I wouldn't say it's more laid back because that dude does not ever get tired, but it's just like wrestling is it's a unique sport. Like everybody wrestles different, everybody coaches different, and it's just nice sometimes to get like like almost like an outside opinion. Because like I mean, Cam and Han, like they're both coaches at Cornell and stuff, and Brady came from PSU, so it's nice to get some outside info from somebody that came from a different program, somewhere like as successful as Penn State. So it's cool to learn about, and it's nice to have him around for sure. And he's young, he's really young, and he's always willing to wrestle.
So, refresh my memory here. I think you wrestled at the UNI the year we went in and beat UNI, right?
Yeah, I wrestled when we beat them.
Yep. What as a team, knowing that Cody came from there, like I'm sure you guys seen it just as much as I did a little bit. Like Cody was worked up that day. What was it like as a team to go out there and like put it to the mat to let one of your coaches beat the coaches that coached him? And like we all knew the recruiting that would come from that and everything like that. Could you explain that a little bit?
Well, it was nice because I'm pretty sure it's pretty close to where Caldo actually lives as well. And so I saw like there's a ton of kids from his high school where I think his dad coaches. They were all there, like wearing their stuff. And then we just went out there and we just beat them up like flat out. It wasn't even close. Like it was nice and like all the coaches were fired up. But like it was fun to wrestle there for sure. But I think that they like it's a unique place there. Like when we started rolling, like their energy, I just felt like it fed us, and we just didn't stop.
I know you always say that you like Frost because of the energy. Like what I always say, west, north, south, east, whatever. I believe it's West Gym, if I remember right off the top of my
Yeah,
head. They like that place was rocking, but you guys just put it to quiet right away.
yeah,
Like
that's what I mean. Like the place was going nuts, and then 20 minutes into the duel, it was just silent. It was just our end. That was it, just our corner. And then a few like we had a good showing there, but not compared to them. Like it was their home duel. But it was just awesome to see just our side that's like cheering and stuff, just a small portion of that place. And they're like right on top of the mat there too. Like that place is packed.
what what what's life like in the room with Cody as a coach?
he likes to get after it. That's for sure. He's a goer, and he wants us to be goers as well. Like when he's doing conditioning and stuff, I'm always thinking to myself, sometimes even saying it out loud, man, this is stupid, but like I'm the first one on the line, you know. But he's like he makes sure that we're in good shape for sure.
Sorry, my mic was muted.
Yeah.
You talk a little bit about the energy there at West Gym. Tell me a little bit about how it feels to wrestle in Frost and how our fan base makes an impact on you and our team and really brings the energy.
I mean, Frost is the greatest place I've ever wrestled by far. Like, there's been so many times where I'm absolutely exhausted in the second period, which is horrible to say, but and I just have like the crowd's just going nuts. My own bench is going nuts, and then all of a sudden I'm not nearly as tired anymore. Like it drives you for sure. Like nothing got me more fired up than when like Danny Vega would hit like a super duck or something, and the whole place just erupts. Like that was just amazing for me. That was like some of my favorite memories of all time.
How about around town? Do you get recognized by the folks around town? Maybe have your own cardboard cutout sitting somewhere, or tell me what that's like.
I don't really have like a cardboard cutout or anything like that, and I don't really get recognized too much, honestly. Like I'm kind of an introvert for the most part. Like I just go do my stuff and then I kind of come home. I play some video games and I live with my girlfriend now, so I just kind of hang out with her. So I'm staying out of trouble, stuff like that, you know. So hopefully it's for the better.
Which video game's your jam, just out of curiosity?
Oh gosh, this one might get me some hate, but I play RuneScape competitively.
Nice.
It's a game that came out in 1999, actually.
Really old.
So yeah, yeah. But I play some like Call of Duty and stuff like that as well.
Anybody else on the team that you game with?
Not really. So like whenever I play Xbox, it's mostly to connect with my friends from back home because like we all just talk to each other on there, kind of fill each other in what's been going on. So that's about it, really.
That's pretty cool.
What's life like with a girlfriend now with like wrestling? How do you manage the work life school balance as a wrestler?
I think it's called work wife balance.
I don't know. I mean, it's pretty nice. Like I come home, like it's convenient, I'd say. Like rather than me living with Zach Price, you could probably imagine how that went. Like now I come home, like apartment's usually clean, but I'm a clean person myself, but like sometimes we switch making dinner and stuff like that. Like it's just nice. It's convenient. And it gives me something to do rather than be an idiot. So like I come home and I sit on the couch and I'll either do homework or we'll watch Netflix or something like that. Keeps me straight. So I think it's a good thing.
Dog or cat person now? Because you're starting to confuse me.
I mean, I have 4 English bulldogs at home, but I just recently got my first cat, probably a month and a half ago, right here. His name's 360. He's
Nice
pretty
kitty.
cool. He's a nice dude. Loves people. Likes water too, so he's just like a dog. He gets in the shower with me sometimes.
And that's
But
your
he's
cat or
nice.
her cat?
We adopted it together. I didn't
Okay.
even like cats, but he's so nice. Like he just hangs out all day right next to me.
Nice.
Just lays around. And he was a kitten too, which was weird. So, but he's nice.
So, like all these things are adding up here for the season. What's some of your goals that you have to go into the season and that you want to accomplish?
I think my goals are like probably different than most people's. Like I am trying to get above a 3.0 to a 3.5 GPA. I want what's best for my team, so I want to win some duels. I mean, ideally, I would like our team to finish top 3 at Big 12s, and then hopefully top 20, top 25 at the least at NCAAs would be like ideal for us. Me personally, I hope to definitely get some wins, send myself to NCAAs again, and hopefully get a couple wins there. That would be nice. But I mean, I'm just here to wrestle, and whatever happens, happens.
So, you say you want to be top 3 at Big 12s. what's your words to the rankers currently that have us rated so low in tournaments and all that fun stuff coming in? Are they going to be in for a surprise this year, do you think?
I mean, it happens every year, really. Like, we go on, like, the year that I wrestled, so 2 years ago, like, you go onto the rankings list right now, and there's 5, 6 teams that are ranked top 25 that we absolutely destroyed. So, like, it's nothing new, really, but I think we're starting to figure out our lineup this year, and once January hits, I think that we're going to be really well off, and we're definitely going to turn some heads for sure.
Minus the were you for placing at Big 12s and NCAAs, what are some other team goals that you guys have set this year as a team?
Team goals, I mean, I guess it's to, like, we formed, like, quite a close bond with our team, which I don't think that many other teams have. Like, for example, like, I lived in an apartment last summer, and guys would just walk in all the time and just, like, hang out on the couch. Like, well, I don't even know they're coming over. Like, I think that's important to have, like the kids on my team, they're my best friends. I think it's important to just have like a brotherhood. Like, I would do anything for them, they do anything for me type of thing. I think that's one of our goals, just to like get closer as a team because it helps with your wrestling on and off the mat.
Do you so with that, do you think that um it really like helps you guys and fires you guys up when somebody does go get upset or somebody pulls off a big win?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, because I mean, it's your best friends. You want to see them winning no matter what. Like, there's nothing more that I like seeing than one of my friends beating somebody that's top 10 or top 5 even. Like, I'm probably more excited for them than they are for themselves.
So I pulled up that we talked about that a little bit here. I think you can see that on your screen.
Yeah.
Well, what the NCAA wrestling came out with is the coaches polls: Iowa first, Penn State second. Okay, we're not claiming to be better than them, but I'd
Right.
like to think we'd give them a run for their money. Missouri 3, Michigan 4, NC State 5, Virginia Tech 6. We definitely wrestled them tough, I would think. Oklahoma State 7. I mean, they got a couple of hammers, no doubt. Arizona State at 8, Nebraska at 10, 9, and then Ohio State at 10. And I think where we really fit in is this next bracket.
Yes, it is definitely for sure.
Where do you see us in this?
Realistically, I would say right around 15 area. Absolutely, right around in that area. Below, like 15 or lower, is what I would say.
Yeah.
11 to 15.
Jordon, what's your thoughts? Where do you put us? Somewhere.
I think that 15 area is about good right now. I know that WrestleStat came out with their new dual rankings today, and they have us 14th, and I think that's about right where we belong right now. Like, we need to see what these other 4 kids that are not previous national qualifiers on the team here can do for us, but I feel like we should be right around that 15 area.
So who's the team that in a duel you want to beat the most, and why is it NDSU?
NDSU. I don't even like talking about it. So it's like this big feud, really, and I still don't understand why like they all hate each other. But for some reason,
it's marker week for football,
yeah,
right?
definitely,
I mean, it's a big deal.
Definitely. I just don't know how. Like, I don't think we've beaten them since I've been to school. I mean, it's only been 2 years, but we haven't beaten them since. And I think it's just a North Dakota, South Dakota thing. And obviously, South Dakota is better, but we haven't beaten them yet, and it's got to happen at some point.
I mean, I think their coach has a little something to do with it. I don't particularly like that guy, but that's just a personal thing. And Coach Hahn, man, you'd run through a wall for that. I'd run through a wall.
Yeah,
for that
absolutely.
Guy. He's awesome.
So, what is your favorite memory in college wrestling so far?
My favorite memory definitely, like, for myself, would be when we were in South Beach, and the only thing I really asked for Coach Hahn to do or to make happen when I committed here was get us one duel against Cornell. And that was as soon as I was finally able to wrestle for SDSU officially, my first duel was against Cornell, and I wasn't supposed to be wrestling. Actually, it was like they're at 157, and I was just sitting there in shorts and a t-shirt. And Coach Hahn kind of told me, "Hey, you're wrestling next match." And I just threw on my stuff, and then ended up getting like a pin in the first period against the school that I just left.
A pin in 1 minute and 13 seconds to be exact. And I can just imagine Rob going, and he hung his head.
Yeah, I might have lost a team point on that one.
I remember, right? You were rocking the cradle of the SDSU at him or something like that.
Yeah, I was actually in pretty much in their bench of all their wrestlers, just rubbing the SDSU logo, and they weren't a big fan of that, but I didn't really care at the time.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it just hits you. I hate to lose a team point though. That'll get you in trouble with coach pretty quick, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you probably get a little bit of a side talk at practice after that.
You guys won that duel anyways, if I remember right.
No, we lost by 2 to Cornell. No,
lost by 2, yeah.
Henry Pohlmeyer was out of the lineup, so that kind of hurt a little bit. And then I think we had another one that was an overtime loss, so it was tough. But then again, they had like 4 guys out taking Olympic red shirts, so can't complain too much there.
Yeah. Would you now, if you had to choose, would you choose? Would you want to go back to Cornell and wrestle Cornell, or would you rather go beat Stanford? Now that Rob went out there, was it more the team or the coach that you wanted to beat?
Coach for sure, absolutely. So it would just be Stanford. I mean, it's all kind of said and done now. Like I don't know. I just it just felt good, honestly, because I'd spent a year and a half there just training and going to school, like trying to make things right and like make it work there. And then I just ended up packing up all my stuff and just moving over halfway across the country. And then my first duel just so happened to be against them, which was pretty cool. But since then, it's just been like I'm friends like with their like almost their entire team. Like I talk to most of the guys every day. Like there's probably 6 or 7 guys that I talk to damn near every day.
So what, with all these gray shirt years and everything that you had, how many more years does SDSU fans get to see you on the mat?
I mean, I have this year, and then I have technically another 2 years after this, but I'm not sure if I will be taking them or not. Like I said, I'm going to be 23 here soon. I can graduate in the fall next year, so I guess we'll see like how things go this year, and then we'll go from there. I mean, if I All-American ever, that's probably it for me. That'll be my last year. But I also said that like going into college, like if I All-American once, like I'm done. But I guess we'll see.
But if you All-American, won't you just want more?
Probably not. Wrestling's a tough sport.
It is, yeah. How many years does the girlfriend have left?
I don't know, honestly. She kind of just packed up her stuff and moved out here and got a job out here, which is pretty cool.
Oh, so she's from back home.
She's from Des Moines, Iowa. Actually, she went to Zach Price's high school.
Matchmaker Zach.
Yeah.
That's all right. Well, that's definitely something that can anchor a guy for a little while. And if you're hanging out, maybe just wrestle anyway.
Yeah, I might have to.
Yeah, I'm probably not the guy to talk you into it. Say, who's your favorite guy to watch out there on the mat, or maybe it's a guy that you used to wrestle with that you really just loved watching?
Like of all time wrestler?
Well, I was thinking more while you were wrestling, but you can go both.
While I was wrestling, it definitely have to be Yanni Diakmahalis for sure. He's or I like watching Vito Araujo as well. I guess there's a bunch. Also a big fan of Danny Vega for sure.
You liked watching Danny as far as teammates was your favorite probably to watch.
He was one of my top 3 of all time anyways. I would say those 3 that I like while I've been in college and I've gotten to experience would probably be those 3.
Right on.
Is one of your worst favorites Zach Price?
He's fun to watch. I do like watching him, but most of the time I'm laughing more than like getting serious because I just think it's funny when he's wrestling. He shoots this straight on double that just makes me laugh out loud every single time, and he scores with it sometimes too. But and it's just funny because I know exactly when he's tired and pretty much exactly what he's gonna do before he really does it. Because I mean, we wrestle all the time, we hang out all the time, and I don't know, it just makes me laugh seeing him out there wrestling for some reason.
I'm sure he appreciates the laughs. Hey, talk a little bit about what you think the future wrestling room might help for the program in going forward, and maybe also touch a little bit about what your thoughts are on the Frost changes.
So our room is definitely gonna like help with recruiting for sure. Like when I first came here, I walked into our room, I was like, wow, man, this is like a little dungeon. But I'm used to it now, so it doesn't matter. But um I think that like a new facility as nice as going to be, like someone sees that and they're on the fence about this school and another school, they're definitely going to pick this school for sure. It's just like right now we have almost 40 guys on our team, and like throwing the coaches wrestling sometimes and whatnot. There's not even like we practice in two groups, so that kind of sucks. Like it's almost like two separate teams. Like we lift together and everything, but our room's not big enough for all of us to wrestle live in. So we have to do at least two groups. So that sucks. It's going to be really nice, like when we're all just able to practice together, and even like recovery and stuff. Frost is just like it's outdated. The ice tubs are like they're really small. We're gonna have like all of our own facilities, our own study room and our own actual like lounge room. So I think academics will improve. Everything will improve for us. It'll just be good overall. And then
Right
as
on.
for Frost, like I love competing in Frost, and I'm excited for the renovations. I don't see a problem like with Frost right now. Like you, I mean, as long as there's people there, like that's all that matters to me. But I'm definitely excited for it.
We were talking about NDSU and Jim Poppin added, hey, have him bring back the border bell to Brookings. So he wants you to bring it back, man.
We're definitely gonna have to.
So you can't walk out this year if you AA and be done. Like you got to practice in that room 1 year.
Yeah, maybe. I'm still on the fence about it, but like I told myself, like always, like if I All American, I'm walking off the mat and I'm done. I'm done with wrestling. But I haven't gotten there yet, so I don't know how I'll feel if it ever does happen. So I guess we'll see.
You know, you're one of the huge crowd pleasers with your throws, and you bring, I mean, just adds to that electricity. You have your own unique style, and you said that's something that Coach Berge brings. You can't just not pass that on, right?
Yeah, I mean that would be awesome for sure to be able to do that. Definitely.
Anyway, yeah, you know, we talked a little bit about Brookings, how you liked it here. Do you have a favorite restaurant in town or anywhere you like to frequent?
So I will say the one thing that I don't like as much about Brookings is the food. Home cooked meals that I've had have been great, but when it comes to options, I feel like people in the Midwest they love their fast food. But Cubby's is always solid. I go to the it's La Cantina, I believe it's called, by BP, right by the interstate. That place is really good. It's mostly those two are probably my favorite. Uh, Definitely, it'd be those two for sure.
You're not talking about Taco Express.
Taco Express isn't bad either,
Taco
but
Express
it's
pretty good.
I like that place. I actually go there a lot for lunch, but like for an overall food, like sit down, it's right across like the parking lot from there is a new. It's relatively new place that opened. It's pretty good.
So
Really
you
nice
may
people.
so
It's
you
the
may
old
not.
round round.
Oh, it's the old ground round. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You may not know it, but this podcast actually has sponsors, and I just like to shout them out quick. We have Cottonwood Cafe and Bistro. You might want to check them out. They have really good coffee and
Go
some
there for
some.
breakfast sometimes. The burritos are good.
Yeah, the burritos are great, right? And we also have Jackrabbit Central as a sponsor. Best place to get your Jackrabbit gear so you can tell your folks back home. And we have, if you ever get to Bottle, South Dakota, which I highly suspect you will not, I'm pretty sure you don't know where it's at, but it's about 2/3 away across the state on the top edge. And there's a place out there, they're making Jackrabbit themed burgers and stuff. It's called Drake's Place. Drake's been a great sponsor. I know he listens to our podcast too. So just wanted to shout them out quick. Sorry about the interruption there. Jordan, go ahead.
Oh, that's fine.
So, like, what is your favorite thing to do in Brookings outside of like the wrestling? Like, what do you and the teammates like to go do?
We go to the par 3 golf course a decent bit. It's right on, what street is it on? Trying to think of where it is, but it's the golf course around here. It's just 9 holes. It's like $5 to play, so we all go do that. We go to the movies a decent bit as a team, and I like to bowl a little bit too. It's always fun. Like, none of us are really any good at bowling, so we'll just go, and then it's always competitive as well. So that's some of the things that we kind of do. Every now and then we'll play some volleyball as well, which is nice.
What is your favorite non-wrestling memory so far of Brookings?
That's a tough one. I don't know, honestly. Non-wrestling is kind of tough to think about, but I just like for Brookings as a whole, like I just like how friendly everybody is out here and how welcoming everybody is. I guess that would just be like one thing that I would take away from this place would be how open and like friendly and welcoming everybody is here.
What would you say is your favorite weight to watch in college wrestling?
Favorite weight, 125 or 133. The little guys, they just move. They're just fast. I just love watching it. It's nonstop action. Like just watching Vega go was one of my favorite things.
So we'll say 125. Tell me what you think of this new Tanner Jordon that we have in the lineup coming in here.
He's a goer. Tanner Jordon, I have some high expectations for him because he'll wrestle till he drops dead. He could wrestle a 30-minute match and he will not quit against anybody. So it's going to be exciting watching him go because I don't know if he gets tired or not, to tell you the truth, but he just never stops, which is I love that. That's like if I'm up against somebody that's like that, I'm in trouble.
It is fun to watch the smaller guys scramble, but
yeah.
Personally, I'm a fan of the big bear dancing. I was a fat guy, still am a fat guy. You got to give us some love too. We just dance around for three periods and try and get an escape and win that way. It's exciting, right? What did you have anything you wanted to say about this random dude on Twitter's profile I pulled up, Jordan? Can you read that or not?
I know what you pulled up now. No, I couldn't read it at first.
Oh, sorry. Here, let me put it full screen. Is that better?
I had my screen down too. I was looking at I have the project notes on one screen and going here. So we have my site here. Damian Hahn did the winter press conference year deal here. You can find that at South Dakota Scouting Report on Twitter, on Facebook. Some of the notes I took away from Damian's thing was that Clay Carlson was the 2021 Academic Scholar of the Year. He also was our only All-American last year, but we have very high hopes and expectations of everybody else, as we have 4 or 6 of the 10 weight classes this year that we will be filling are previous national qualifiers, including our 165-pounder and guest Tanner Cook. He better be a 2-time national qualifier after this year, or I'll be knocking on the neighbor's door bitching.
It's a family show, Jordan.
Yeah, I know. Sorry about that language. And then he also kind of highlighted the projected lineup this year for us. I'll go through it. If Tanner has anything that he wants to say for some of these new kids that we don't know, he's more than welcome to say. If he wants to stay quiet, he's good. But at 125, we just touched on it. We got Tanner Jordon. At 133, Damian says that Hunter Marco is on his way down from 149 last year. Trayton Anderson will also be making an attempt, and Caleb Gross we'll all see at 133. At 145 or at 141, we have last week's guest, Clay Carlson. At 149, we'll have Zach Price or Danny Kimball. At 157 is Kenny O'Neill or Jack Thomas. Is that how you say it? I don't know. I always call it Jack
Thompson. Isn't it Thompson?
Thompson, yeah.
Yeah.
165, we have the Mr. Highlight Reel Tanner. 174, K DeVos went up. 184, we'll have Tanner Cook, Jacob Schoon, or not Tanner Cook. Now I'm reading the screen on my phone at the same time. Sorry about that. At 184, you have Cade King, Jacob Schoon, or Tate Batani. At 197, we'll see Nick Casperson, more than likely till January, because unfortunately Tanner Sloan is still healing from last year's injury. And then at heavyweight, we'll see AJ Nevels or Bowen McConneville. We start next weekend already. The 13th is the Bison Open. It'll be the first time the Jacks go up there and beat the Bison's head in, or I should say the second time the Bison get their heads beat in by SDSU in 2 weeks. And then we come home and we have the Augustana and Northern State duels on November 19th here in Frost. Let's all pack it and let's have a great time. And then the 21st is the DAC Open also, which is in South Dakota. So come on up, make a trip out of it, enjoy the weekend. I know the 20th is the North Dakota football game. So you can make a 3-day weekend out of a pretty incredible sports event and come cheer on all the Jackrabbits.
Is there anyone on the team you think's gonna jump out and impress us that we're maybe not quite privy to yet, Tanner?
I would say that we definitely have some tough freshmen that just came in. So I would say Alec Martin is definitely one of those guys. He's tough. He was really tough in high school, so it was kind of expected. Derek Cardinal is another one. He does everything right. He's just one of those guys that he just takes care of what he needs to take care of. Cal Swenson is very tough, very talented. And then one other guy that I think is going to surprise some people is Sam Kruger from South Dakota.
From South Dakota,
yeah. He's a strong kid, big, strong kid.
And we had some guys move up in weights. Have you seen any real change in the room with that? Did that change how those guys were able to effectively wrestle? Have you seen any real change with those guys that have moved up a weight a little bit?
So Zach Price has definitely gotten a lot better at wrestling, but I mean that you need to, if you're going to jump up 2 weights, you got to get better. You got to get bigger. You got to get stronger. So he's definitely gotten better at wrestling, which makes sense because now he can actually enjoy going to practice, or not enjoy, but it's a lot easier now that he can probably eat lunch and feel good. Yeah, he's just not worried about losing his weight, not stressing about it. So I think he's gotten a lot better. Hunter Marco's gone down in weight, but he's been doing a good job with taking care of his weight and everything like that. It's definitely still a big cut, but I believe it's probably going to be his last year, so he wants to go out with a bang. So, and he thinks it's what's best for him and what's best for the team. So, I mean, I'm all for it.
Right on.
So we had this when we had Cody on. We were talking a little bit about the same question, and they said this 165-pounder, he doesn't need to high fly it anymore as much. That he's actually learning some wrestling himself now. So can you tell me how that's been going for you and what you've been learning about more just wrestling instead of big movers?
Yeah, so I've just been trying to learn how to actually wrestle here. I mean, most of the guys that I wrestle with, I've been wrestling for the last two years or so. So like, even if I were to hit stuff like that, like chances are they know it's coming. So like, I've been working on my feet a lot. I've never really had a problem on bottom, but on my feet, just like getting to actual shots now and then defending a shot rather than just letting them grab my leg and then going from there. So I've gotten better at scrambling and then developing an actual attack on my feet. And then just on top, like being able to turn guys, because I was really successful on top in my first year of college. That's actually where I scored all my points. And then I kind of strayed away from it a little bit, but I'm trying to get back to it because that's something that's really important to be good at is on top. Like it just gets guys, it just wears them out. You get them tired. You get your riding time point too, which is huge. So that's just some of the stuff I've been working on. It's been going really well. And then I just want to keep the other stuff like in my back pocket in case I ever need it in the third period or something like that. If I'm down or even if it's just there, I mean, I'll definitely throw a couple in the first period just because at some point this year, it's just like I'll have to do it. But apart from that, yeah, I'm trying to learn how to actually wrestle. So
Well, it's always seemed like it's just this bait that you hold out there, and no matter who the guy is, no matter how much he knows it's there, they can't help but take it. And next thing you know, they're upside down. But I'm not gonna say I don't get a little bit concerned when you start exposing your back. It's one of those things.
yeah,
How
I
many?
mean, it's definitely hard, but like I kind of think of like the worst thing that happens, like maybe I get taken down, or like absolute worst case scenario, I just get pinned, just move on to the next one, I guess. But it's
That
probably not the
hasn't
greatest way to
happened a
think
whole
about it,
lot, though, has it? How many times have you actually gotten stuck doing that?
but
More than you
I
want,
mean,
probably.
that whole year I didn't once, but I went for a big move, a different. I went for a throw and got headlocked at a D2 tournament when I was up probably 7-0 and got pinned, but it didn't really matter too much. So it was all in good fun.
That D2 tournament cost you the Hodge because you got
Yeah,
thrown calling it.
yeah,
It's close, man. No competition that year, really, but say, hey, we want to respect your time, and we appreciate all the time you've given us here tonight. Jordon, you got any more questions?
Um, I just want to touch on Track the Jack, last week's big winner, right there. We got it's starting here in 9 minutes. Actually, at the 9, if you're listening, you can jump on and do the. If you go to the website, it will let you do it right there. 8:30, they'll go live. They'll draw a name. See if Chad can get it 2 weeks in a row.
yeah.
Maybe this time he'll draw a better card and take the jackpot home. I know the jackpot's, I don't know.
Over 10,000.
It's over 10. Have they said anything for tonight yet?
I think it was at like 10,500. So
Yeah,
that would mean you bring home over 5,000 yourself if you were to pull it.
yeah. Too bad I'm just not that good at picking numbers. Jordan texted me right away. Hey, man, there's only 32 cards, and you pick a loser. Okay, half the deck's still out there. Although I give them some credit, they've extracted a fair amount more money out of me than I maybe would have given otherwise. So well played, guys. I know whose brainchild it is, and Marty, it was good to hear your call last week. We got to get him on here, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. He'd love to, I'm sure.
So anyway, well, we appreciate your time. Like I said, we don't want to take too much, and with that, I think we'll close. Can we get a go Jacks or get jacked on 3? 3, 2, 1.
Get
Get
jacked.
jacked.